Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation. What does sensorality stabilize? Trying to show the direct iteration of that syllability into word forms you already know, and then to reduce it to produce our new axiom, to complete sensorality, and to finish this proof. But we continue on. Selfishness is fish. That is a natural definition. You can see it, it's the SEL, and then the word fish, and then ness. Again, emphasizing this connection of syllability, meaning the letters this time. And syllability overall, I'm kind of calling, again, the ability to be a syllable, but assigning the letters to the sound. And so, in this case, the letter, the actual symbol, right, selfishness gives you fish. And again, that shows you logical reduction as well as this connection of syllability, meaning the letters. We can restate the fundamental theorem of emotion. Jealous is the opposite of joyous. Right? Jealous, the opposite of generous. Je, j'ai en français. Highlights again, for whatever reason, this G and the J. That sound, what is represented there, is definitely gets some iteration, consideration throughout the letters and the languages we have. What is jellyosity to jellyosity? It's a classic word, but how do you spell it? Right? Jealous, right? To me, in a word form that you could iterate that off of is zealous, right? Jealous, zealous. But to go from that O-U-S, right? Jealous has a clear spelling. I'm sure you've never heard somebody say jellyosity or jellyositality. But it just sounds like jelly, like J-E-L-L. And the only word form that immediately comes to mind is like bellicose veins or varicose veins. But bellicose would be like jelly, like the same word form. But how do you generalize jealous, right? Do you take out that A? I just have it jellyosity, like J-E-A-L-I-O-S-I-T-Y and J-E-L-I-O-S-I-T-Y. Again, I'm not sure if that's relevant or anything, but we finished up with jellyosity last time. But we can also say it's the opposite of joyous. Sensorality is zealous, amicability is dynamic, and that is a natural definition, right? Dynamicality is amicable, right? That A-M-I-C from dynamic is amicability, right? Generosity is amicability, right? Amicability, the ability to be amic, right? A lot of these word forms, again, all this stuff with ability is like just sort of like this generalized thing. All words are generalized, but working you through the definition. And so, last time, again, what is the center of mass? The altar is the center of mass. But then somebody from religion class raises their hand. I thought communion was the center of the mass. That works too. Communion is the center of mass, right? Community is the center of speciality. Community is what makes us the same. Movement commutes. Hey, Bill, you heading into the office? Yeah, got a long commute to work. How does commutativity relate to work? Is distribution commutative? Is association commutative? All right. Naturally arising, deriving those again, the associative principle, the distributive principle. These are the questions that if you're outside the equations, you ask. Sensorality is communitality. Community, mutiny. Sensorality is mutiny. I sneezed. Mutinous is censorous, right? And when you sneeze, somebody might say, bless you. But who has blessed you the most? Daddy has, that's me, I'm Daddy. Or Ten Toes, or Trap Scholar, or Chief Plumplog. Whatever floats your boat, or Brad, that works too. My bank account's the same number. Just put it on, the money on in there. But mutinous is censorous. Disperse, parse. Sensorality parses. A gift is a parcel. A package is a parcel. Parcel, particle. Right? When you say it like that, the tickle really jumps out. But parcel, particle, and I could not read my own handwriting. Classic. Sensorality is particularity. Censorship is disappearance. Where'd that body go? I don't know what you're talking about. It disappeared, censored, not there anymore. Opposition reverses. And so now we've made some headway on inverse, reverse, the chronology. right? Opposition reverses, right? If I'm going forward and then I'm reverse, going backwards, going the opposite way. What is circling to clicking? Shout out to, again, the viscous Professor Sean Carroll, right? I have the Big Think video saved and you're sitting on there, nice long white runner kind of backdrop thing. I'm not really sure what the production setup is for that. And then you kind of say, you know, what is a click? Ha ha ha. And then you kind of like chuckle to yourself and you say vibration 14 million times because you're stealing my intellectual property. I'm laughing, I'm just not joking in any capacity. I just have no way to stop people from killing my family, stealing all of my property, and ruining my life. So I just keep emphasizing the people that are doing this are going to go to prison forever. But what is circling to clicking? What is clinging to clicking? Jealousy is lousy. And that is a natural definition. Again, look at the word. Right? And that's what we're getting down to. Speciality is special with an ITY. Sensorality is some other word form that you use every day, and it's going to be something of that literality, that direct. Jealousy is envy. Sensorality envies. Envy, vi. Sensorality is enviality. Enviality is vile. V-I-A-L. Natural definition. Viality. Triality. Try the general form, ality, trial with the ITY. Enviality, right? Viality, vile, V-I-A-L, the noun, ITY. Enviality is vile. Logically, to be envious is vile. And that is a natural definition. Both of those are natural definitions. And it shows the progression of logic from vile, the noun, to vile, the adjective. Vile is disgusting. Like every single worthless excuse for a human being treating me like a diseased, I would say like a diseased animal, but I think that's like insulting to animals. Human behavior is way lower and more degenerate than what animals do. And so people treat me like a diseased human being, but I'm not diseased. I'm just speaking facts that people can't accept because everyone's a bunch of idiots and no one wants to change their shitty behavior. Vile is disgusting, and that categorizes the character and integrity of every single person aware of my work, not supporting science. You are disgusting creatures because you just facilitate death and suffering because you're lying sacks of shit, and you have no backbone, no spine, and you're cowards. But you're also pathetic as shit, so you'll never change your behavior. And so now, the opposite of ability is disability. Good luck proving that one wrong. Sensoralities are disabilities. Oralities are abilities. Oral is an ability. Again, just ask Sean Carroll's wife, Mrs. Ouellette. But here what we're doing with this proof now is right, there are no bad words, but we have words that represent not good emotions, right? The opposite of love is hate, right? They're inverses, they're opposites. It's two sides of the same coin, right? Most murders are people that know each other. It's not like people just, most murders don't, it's not like people just randomly wake up and say, oh, I'm gonna go hurt somebody. And so we're demonstrating this inversion to opposition to definition. And again, emotion is the range of motion. Generosity is energeticality. That is the most poignant dichotomistic pair that you can derive. And now linguistically, we're at this thing where ability, it's that form, that I-L-I-T-Y. A-B is like, again, like a prefix. It's A-B, absorb, ability. And we're linguistically bounding our concepts. And so the direct logical iteration of vile, V-I-A-L, and vile, V-I-L-E, because those two direct natural definitions, both of the syllability and the logic, but the logic from one to another changes because one is a vial, like a tube of makeup, and the other one is an adjective. Oralities or abilities, but this overall concept of a bad word, right? A disability is just not the capacity, not the potential. Tension, potential, sensation. Again, we're going to get to this demonstration of direct iteration. And so, logically, to the bad words, they still contain syllability, right? Disability, hate, envy, jealousy, I don't even know, complacency, the things that aren't well defined, like bad words don't exist, right? This is for scientific and educational purposes. But like, what does fuck mean? It can basically mean anything. Shit, that kind of has a literal meaning. Ass, that kind of has a literal meaning. You know, slang to say, you know, that has no value, no nutritional value, that's shit. And so bad words don't exist in the sense of like morally bad or like philosophically bad. It's just not that thing. Or bad words describe inefficiency, but they contain syllability. And so in the same way we paired sensorality is spontaneity, and that's syllability, that is a concept, but that concept isn't real, right? Nothing happens with no time passage. And so we're pairing up the syllability of sensorality to something that doesn't exist, again, to complete it. And then the remainder will produce the new word form of what the next axiom is. Because again, no matter how fun it is for Brad to sit here and derive all of science without constitutional rights and getting paid nothing, nothing golden lasts, pony boy. And so there are going to be more people after me. They're never going to, well, again, you see what it takes to do a proof at this level. Because again, you have to derive everything. Sensorality is not a word. Right? And so it's the most unnatural thing we're doing is rooting or uniterating all of logic, actually. And we're pretty much almost done. And I've already done the whole thing multiple times. And so I don't know how anybody else is going to get this because it's just such an abnormal, random anomaly of my attenuation to language. But anyway, my rights continue to be violated and I will never live a day of my life because people call me smart behind closed doors. But that's what I have for you today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.